you.
Go ahead, bro. We need all the behind the scenes. All the BTS. I'm here for it.
Okay, dope.
Count to 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto.
We out here.
Perfecto.
We out here.
When it comes to that,
Couple
we don't
mans out
struggle.
here.
I just live. Your boy Philo in the building with the outlet. Let's get it.
Yeah. We out here.
Pull it up.
Podcast.
Pull it up. You plan on doing more of these?
What?
Like podcasts?
Man, I mean, if people want me on there, I'm down.
Have you done many?
Man, I've done
You've done interviews.
like interviews.
What do you think the difference is?
I don't know, man.
Because I feel like there is a difference.
With podcasts?
And I'm gonna tell you why when you finish.
Okay. I mean, interviews, like last week, I did a little podcast with this company or whatever, but we did it from the computer. And they were talking about movies. And
Or like over like Zoom or whatever?
something like that. It's kind of like a Zoom.
Okay.
But this be like the first podcast. Yeah.
Look at God.
Yeah.
Look at God.
And then next week will be, I think then sometime this month it'll be kind of similar to last week. It'll be on the computer.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, yeah, this is cool though.
What do you think feels? What do you think like off the top feels different about an interview?
I don't know, man. I look at podcasts. I feel like podcasts is very more laid back. They're kicking and they're vibing. I think when you go to like an interview type thing, there's kind of like they stick to a certain subject and they kind of like to kind of keep it on that direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I can see it's a little different vibe to it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very more laid back.
And so that's definitely one of the things where it's just like I don't want to create that environment on a podcast to where somebody feels like they're being interviewed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you get the authenticity goes away when it's like I'm finna drill you with questions. You know what I'm saying? Like preloaded questions too. So that's what I don't know if you was wondering like, dang, you ain't send me nothing like.
Nah,
like,
man. I figure, man, we probably just gonna go off the top because I do a lot of improv, so I
so you with it? So
yeah. Dude, I direct, man. That's what I do. I do a lot of comedy movies. I've done comedy movies in the past, and I always tell my actors, you got to improv. Like, even for that movie, we did some improv.
Yeah.
Like, when you there's a certain scene that I wanted you to see, because you're at a really good scene right now. Mm-hmm. And I had literally wrote that in like a week before. We supposed to
added it to the...
I just added it randomly, just wrote that scene a week before, and I told my actors, hey, I think we need to spice up this movie a little bit to show that you are a badass. So I just wrote this little scene or whatever where he just...
It's going to change the game?
Well, you have to watch the whole movie, but for me to go and elaborate on other stuff. Okay. I'll just say I want to give people a little hint of he can be a very John Wick type of personality. So you have to watch the scene.
All right, I got you. What's up, people? Your boy Philo back in the building, man. Really, really, really special guest we got today. My boy Barrington, man. And yeah, I'm excited because we in the same world, in the same field. And we've been kind of putting this off for a little while. I apologize. I've been putting this off for a little while, but
all good.
Excited to have you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You know, I was glad to hear that you will partake in the delicacies of Honey Jack, and we finna kick it. So tell the people who is Barrington? What do you do? What are you doing right now?
Well, Barrington is a man of many hats. I'm a director, writer, producer, somewhat of an actor. You know, I guess you could say I can be an actor. The fact that I have to write scripts, I have to. In my mind, I have to play these characters. Yeah. So, gaffer, director of photography. You know, I wear many hats, man. But I love it, man. That's what I do. Been doing it for over 10 years.
Okay.
You know, shot commercials. I got my own production company, grip van, and all that stuff. We shoot films, short films, proof of concepts, trailers. And we do it all, man. We just try to be, you know, trying to brand ourselves as much as possible, man, and just give the clients what they need and to be happy at the end of the day. So, I mean, that's what we're doing, man.
Are you, because you said you're from New York, are you self-taught?
Self-taught?
Yeah.
For some degree. But I mean, I went to school for this.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So you cheated. All right.
Yeah.
So, I didn't go to school for it.
Yeah.
And I was a little intimidated by film because I knew like there was much more than just press and record to it. So over time, like I kind of broke through this fear of like, yo, bro, you got to learn about lighting. Like you have to learn about like angles and investing in different lenses. And what's always been important to me is the audio side because I went to school for audio.
Right.
So coming on this side, I would say the learning curve was kind of short. And also the transition kind of made sense to bridge video and audio together because I got that background. But like, still sometimes even the lingo, sometimes I'd be like, huh? Like I wish I had some kind of schooling or whatever. And I mean, honestly, bro, if we can make it make sense to where you can almost kind of mentor me in that area to kind of, you know what I'm saying, be able to at least have those conversations with other directors and other, like I know a lot, you know, in terms of like the technical aspects, but I know it's a lot too. I know it can get really extensive.
Yeah, it can be very extensive, especially when it comes to making movies, man.
And you kudos to you, bro. Like doing a full length like film, like you ain't just doing parodies and sketches. Like this is time taken out. So the video you sent me, it's just called Abiding.
Yes, Abiding.
Okay, so it's a movie. It's not a video. Let me put some respect on it. It's a black man with a movie. All right. It's about an hour and what would you say? Hour and a half?
About hour and 43.
So a little over an hour and a half. Like, so on average, I guess based on what's needed, how long would it take to shoot like that much or get that much done?
Oh, man, I think when we shot that in 2019.
Okay.
So the movie's it's been delayed a lot, you know, because it's an independent film. You know, I kind of had self-funding, has, you know, an investor, small investments into it. But man, we were shooting like May 4th. I think we wrapped like sometime in July, mid-July. So we were doing it for like maybe, if I can add like reshoots that we add into, because we were shooting production on Saturdays and Sundays.
So on the weekend.
Yeah, because everybody had 9 to 5. I had 9 to 5, whatever.
Makes sense.
And I had the worst schedule at that time. I had to work 2 to 10, which I was working at. Okay. So I had to get off work, go to my man's house, pick up his lens, go home, because I was still doing crafty and all that stuff myself. So I was doing everything. So I had to load up my car the night before, make sure everything was in there, go to set the next day. I'd be dragging on Saturdays going to set. But once I had my coffee and Red Bull, I think after 1 to 2 scenes, I'm good. Yeah. But, you know, we were doing that, man, for like a couple months. Saturday, Sunday, 12, 14 hours a day. You know, if I ain't like the dailies that weekend, I talked to my actor. I said, let's go ahead and reshoot it. And I had a Tuesday off during the week. So we would shoot
You
our
take
reshoots.
those days so
I did my reshoots.
So you wasn't getting no off day?
Nah, I wasn't getting. But I also focused because, you know, I said I pushed the movie back for so much, you know, just because of finances or whatever. But I was just determined because I think I went to California in 2018. So that's when I was supposed to shoot it.
Okay.
But I had a lot of health issues or whatever. I was in the hospital, and then just a lot of investors that kind of flaked on me.
So that's what I was just going to ask. For you to say you had investors, but like the funds were still an issue, would you, like, what would you do differently going into the next one as far as like planning, like the budget and all that kind of stuff? Because I could see, like, even with contracts and stuff in place, like people backing out, and there being a penalty, but it's like you got actors and a crew that's waiting to
Right.
get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, a lot of people worked off, just for the love of the project, whatever.
Really?
So, and then
these friends?
it's some crew people I had.
I'm saying, so they weren't friends. They just want experience.
Well, some people didn't have that much experience, but I think for them it was kind of to gain that experience, especially that we were working on a feature film.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, hey, we're not making some short film,
All right.
because I did a lot of short films for years and stuff like that. But this was like my first big project to make a feature film. Right. I want to kind of get to that graduation level. You know what I'm saying? And get to the big boy level. So yeah, I mean, we put in a lot of time, man. I said overall it was like 20-some days. 24 days roughly we shot the whole feature film. I mean, I said I had investors, they flaked out. I had I ain't calling nobody out.
Yeah, no, we ain't gonna call no names, bro.
But they
just text to me.
They well known, I'll just say, in the sports arena. So and had meetings, they were down, but flaked out on me in 2018. So I had lost a lot of my union people that were going to come on board. Like, I was planning on doing a lot of stunt scenes, car flipping over.
Right.
But then I just got a little depressed a little bit about it in 2018. So I just said, you know what, screw this. I'm just kind of leave this on the shelf. I'm just done.
Same movie with all the car flips?
Same movie. And then I had a lot of some health issues come up or whatever. But I think like later that fall, I had went to California, you know what I'm saying, for like the holidays. Just being out there, just kind of, I don't know, it got me a little motivated. Okay. Just to be in the actual, the film mecca in Hollywood.
Right.
So, at that time I said, I'm going to give it one more try.
How old are you?
38.
38, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 32.
Yeah. So
nice.
I went out, I came with that mindset, I'm going to go ahead and just do it one more time. See if it works. Yeah. So I think the following year, early that year, I had talked to the main actor. His name's Levi Burdick. He plays Arthur Fisher, and I talked to him. He's the first person I had to hit up. I said, hey man, I want to try to get this movie back up going. What do you think? He's like, hell yeah, let's do it. Right. So I had to contact the kids who's gonna play, his kids in the movie. Yeah. I had to contact them next, and then contact other people. I mean, I had to recast some roles here and there because some people just didn't feel like coming back or whatever, and that's just part of the game. So, yeah. We planned it out, I mapped it out. I had found a new DP at the time, and found locations. Luckily, I had some people in the industry showed love, got me some locations for free. I had to use this mansion in Fayetteville for the movie, which I think you probably saw in the movie.
Here?
In the movie.
I'm saying Fayetteville, like out here. Okay.
So I had got a nice mansion. The guy actually owned a club, so he worked out a deal with me, a very cheap deal. Okay. So I came out the pocket on that because the little money I did get, I still had to spend money for sound and my cinematographers. So I had to pay them stuff like that. So yeah, man, it was a challenge, man. Coming out of the pocket. I mean, I was broke, man, for about a good 3 months. That's for sure. Sheesh. But it was all worth it at the end of the day, man. I think even like when COVID came.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
That screwed it up a little bit. Had to push it back, and then. Luckily, we had some sound issues. I mean, we did have sound issues.
Luckily?
Well, not luckily, but we did have sound issues. Okay. So it's like, because some locations we had no control of sound. So I had a.
So the ambience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. Okay. What
like
trains
we was
and
in a grocery store.
Oh.
We had no control of that because we was kind of realist down a little bit. True. So I had to do a lot of ADR for the movie in 2020, which worked out because one of my actors worked at she was a manager at a recording studio. So that worked out perfectly. Yeah. And she gave me a great deal. And we did ADR, and then I had a lot of issues in post productions. The editor who I had, he just got busy doing other stuff. And then I had to get another editor, and then I ended up having to take over a little bit using Premiere.
But these are all people under contract.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you had specific deadlines and.
Yeah, they just couldn't hit the deadlines, man. And yeah, I mean that was a good portion. I'm not trying to throw anybody underneath the bus or whatever. Yeah. I still have nothing but love for them now. Right. And I still work with, because I said my editor is also one of my DP cinematographers. Okay. And he's good. He's a great guy. Right. And I always enjoy working with him. So it's all love in the day. You just know what and what not to do in the near future. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot making my first feature film, like how to go for the next movie.
Okay.
It's like around a lot smoother and less headaches.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I wonder is there anything that would stifle you by having this mentality like, no, I'm not gonna do that because that didn't work. I'm trying to think through. Is there anything that we could say like, that was that? You might not want to do that moving forward. I'm gonna give it some more thought, but I would imagine there's probably some things that didn't work just because of the personnel,
Right.
or just because of how you wanted to shoot things. So, and cars flipping in the first film is definitely like he's swinging for the fences. He's shooting to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm big on production value, man. I think that's another big thing I was focused on with this movie. Like, that's why I was so, I ain't had that much money. Like I had, I can tell you some stories, man. It was crazy, man. But the determination was really high for me. Like, I didn't want to look back at this movie, be 80 years old, and say, man, what if I would have made that movie? What could have happened?
But don't you think that's gonna happen anyway? That's gonna happen with everything, bro. Because you're gonna evolve and grow as a creative.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason I say that. Because even when I think about the music I've made, dating back to 2009, 2010, I'm like, bro, this sucks. Like, what was this? But at the time, I thought it was banging. You know what I'm saying? The people around me was telling me, yo, this is it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I see why you have that mentality, because you want to do it, like you want to do everything with excellence. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and you understand like, kind of how I view my work is like, bro, if I can't look back and enjoy this, like, no, like if I see now that this ain't something that I would consume, then something need to change. Like we need more. So I get that side of it, but like I don't think if you that type, I don't think you'll ever be satisfied with anything that you do.
Well, I'm a perfectionist, man. I'm a Virgo, so that's just another thing I can't.
And then when you said that, I was like, oh shoot.
But no, I mean, for me, I think it was because people see me do a lot of comedy movies.
Okay.
When, like we're talking like 2000. I can go back to college from 2008.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So people knew
that's when you was in college?
No, I went to school in 2005, but I finished in 2009. But I really didn't start doing filming because, you got to take them core classes or whatever. So I really didn't start getting to like film class like 2007, 8.
Okay.
Or whatever. So I did a lot of comedy stuff and I've done a little horror stuff, but.
You said horrors?
Horror.
Like stuff with horrors?
Not like horror films.
Just playing. There's some stuff with some horrors in it.
I have in one movie, but no, I mean, so I try to like mix it up because I'm one of those filmmakers. Like I try to like do different type of styles of movies. Like I don't want to ever be kind of box, type of.
Is that your personality? And what you enjoy? That's part of.
Yeah. I mean, I like all type of movies, like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what I grew up on. So that's why, like, with this movie, Abiding is like, that was one of those movies that, being my first feature film, people can kind of see, okay, this is the type of direction he's going to be going to as a filmmaker, But I'm still going to switch it up, of course, with other stuff. I got a comedy feature film finishing up on now.
Okay.
We have the trailer on YouTube right now. It's an old trailer.
For the comedy?
Yeah, it's called Welcome to Uranus.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
it's a fun comedy. But I got some people in LA. We're trying to work on getting it out there.
That's what's up.
So it's very different, I like to say.
I want to be in a comedy, bro. Bro, let me know what you're doing the next one, bro. I'm gonna audition, bro.
Comedies are fun, man. So
yeah, and I'm getting this vibe like you might be like Will Ferrell, Seth Rogen, Steve Carell. Like you like that kind of humor versus slapstick, like.
Well, I'll just say like the movies that inspired me when I wrote the.
Here we go. Yeah, talk about it.
When I wrote it the first time was in 2014. I wrote it, and I went to a porn store or whatever. So that's where the idea came about.
Okay.
And
those are good, by the way.
Yeah. So I've seen the movie. I'm sure you've seen the movie Clerks.
Clerks?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's an old classic movie. God, I feel bad. I forgot the director's name. But anyway, so anyway, it was one location, and I've always wanted to make movies in like one location because I feel like
That challenges you.
it challenged me, and it challenged you on the storytelling part. So I was like, man, I've never seen nobody make some type of movie or TV show where they're in a porn store.
Yeah.
Cause it's like endless comedy right
Right.
there.
Right.
So I wrote the script really fast. It was like a 20-page script. Cast it, we shot it, whatever, one location, pretty much. So at that time, I was trying to pitch it to some studios or whatever. Had some people trying to pitch it, but people weren't trying to like dive into it because they thought it was just stupid. And it was very influenced from like American Pie.
Right.
Cause I was into that.
That's movies. What I'm saying. Like, yeah, that ain't your typical like over the top. We're trying to be funny comedy. It's more like the sarcasm, the wittiness,
right?
Like those sort of things. That like that's what I get from you. Like that's my kind of comedy. Like I don't like the
I don't like
in your
trying
face.
Too hard.
Yeah,
like,
bro. Like
you just gotta come natural. I mean, it's more of like a personality. I think with anybody just that can fit that character, it's gonna make it funny.
Yeah.
Like especially when comedy's like the script I'm writing right now. Like I'm just going over again just to punch up some dialogues, but I already know all that stuff's gonna get changed. Set. Because
sure. it's a vibe. Like
it's a vibe. People gonna improv, and I like improv because I feel like what I see in my head is not what they're gonna interpret it when they speak.
True.
On scene and action. So it's like sometimes I'll say, hey, well, say this line, like say, whatever. Right. Add something to it, and they might say, well, can I say this? I was like, yeah, let's roll a tape. Let's see how it looks. So I think as a director, you gotta be open-minded to that. Like, don't be so pigeon to like, okay, we gotta stick to this script all the way. Yeah. Because scripts are nothing but blueprints. People don't understand that.
No, they don't.
It's just they feel like, okay, if we don't go by this, it's just not gonna work. Yeah. Then you're gonna fail as a filmmaker doing that.
I agree. I agree. Because when you're writing, you don't know who. Like, because of course character development is gonna take place, but then once the two like actors come together, you don't know their vibe might be so organic and natural. Like you might just need to let them just have at it. You know what I'm saying? And you get some of the best stuff sometimes by just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did a lot of improv on the first one. So we rebooted the trailer in 2020. Okay. Because I had a guy sent to a studio, whatever. I don't want to say who, but the studio saw it and they really liked it. Yeah. And it was like, can you reboot it? I was like, yeah. So we rebooted the trailer in 2020, and then they saw it and they loved it and stuff like that. So some stuff didn't pan out because I think that the studio's just going through a lot of drama right now. Okay. In the media, people that know, they know. But
got it.
So yeah, so I still working on it. So I decided I want to still shoot the feature, whatever. But I said right now we're trying to shop it, see who bites onto the pilot trailer we got.
I got you.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that's a couple of stuff.
Okay. So with this film, Abiding.
Yeah.
If people truly like knew you or know your story, would they see why this story was presented?
Nah, they're not gonna see too much of that.
That's kind of like an indirect way of me saying,
if my personality,
where the hell this story come from?
I'm always inspired by different movies. This movie was very influenced from like, it has a little bit John Wick vibe, I guess. When people did see the first trailers, they gave me a John Wick vibe, which, John Wick was created from another character that was very much an assassin. So it's like, I guess everybody always brings up whatever's current, of course. Right. But he has a little John Wick, a little bit of Michael Corleone, Godfather 3 to him. So he's very influenced from like Godfather 3. Okay. So I'm a big Godfather fan, and I like about that movie is just like, he's trying to get out that lifestyle. He's older. Right. He just wants to focus on being a family man. But, the system just keeps pulling him back.
It got him.
So it's like was my biggest influence, how I had to take with that character and how to run with it. Yeah. Is that the core of this is him trying to be a family man. Okay. He's trying to live a normal life. He's a single parent, stuff like that. So that was my biggest push as the character that can grow from there. I gotcha. And then just kind of see a lot of flaws that he has with his kids. One of his kids does cocaine and all
bro,
that.
I was thinking about, growing up, I would look at TV and film like, man, they've got some incredible stories. And it wasn't until I got older where I realized, like, yo, some of these are like life events that they put on the screen. Like, it's not the. I thought it was the other way around. Like, man, Hollywood is creating some crazy stories. Like, dang, I don't know, that'll never happen in real life. And it's like,
You'd be surprised. Some of that
that's what I'm
stuff
saying.
is
like, I'm becoming
somewhat true in ways, but that's another
bruh,
conversation.
way more. I'm way more aware now of like, bro, like people going through some shit, bro. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and when I saw him have the flashback with his wife, I'm like, even the trauma that comes along with that, and you trying to be like you said, you trying to be a family man, you trying to be a decent father, and it's like, how much time was taken to really grieve, the loss, and like them kids need help. He need help, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm big on. That's why I named it the outlet. Like, I'm big on this mental health, like as it relates to the black community, but like just in general, bro. Like, I think we don't do enough intentional work about dealing with like our issues. Like, right. And when you said something about health issues, like that's how I develop health issues, by not grieving properly.
Right.
Like, and so my whole MO now in wanting to do vlogs and documentaries, like, bro, I want people to have a way to tell their story, because I'm interested in hearing their story, because it gives me perspective. Right. I've been teaching math for 9 years.
Yeah.
So dealing with high school kids, middle school kids, like, bro, I'm hearing all these stories, and what's rocking me right now is realizing, like, a great parent may think they're a great parent because they're providing for their child, roof over your head, feeding you, and all this kind of stuff. But bro, them kids come to me.
Still not good enough. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's not good enough, but I mean, it takes.
There's more
than that.
to it.
Yeah.
But who do you blame? Do you blame the system for demanding that the person like work more, have to pay more bills, and work harder to make sure they can provide? Like, or do you blame the parent for like not realistically, like, not finding a balance to spend time, get to know their child, over like being just a provider? Like, it seems like it's a lot to juggle, bro. And like, yeah, like I said, them kids come to me like broken, like really like on some, oh yeah, they work, or they went at home last night, I ain't see them, or I'm in my room all the time, I don't talk to them. Right. And it's like, they got everything they need and everything they want, but the relationship ain't there, and it's like, dang.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents think that that's all they need.
That's enough.
I see a lot of people. I see people like that. Even a little bit in my family sometimes.
Really.
I think or just people in general is just thinking like, hey, if I can provide, hey, I'm doing a good job as a parent. No, you're gonna be more of a greater parent to them just being there for them. When they need it, you know what I'm saying? Talk to them,
right? You
know what I'm saying? Communicate, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, you want to provide and all that stuff, but I mean, you also have to make sure you're nourishing them, giving them confidence they need, and seeing what's wrong with them and what kind of problems they're going through, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, I don't have kids or whatever, but I just know when I do have kids, I just want to imply, just hey, like, I still want to be a good parent, but I also want to be there for them mentally, so. It's something I don't see too much of this generation. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they have like a lot of past trauma. The parents have past traumas.
Facts.
That they haven't worked out.
Right.
They know how to improve or be a better person.
So why do you think you would want to give that to your child? Not just because you want to be a good human, but like, is there something that would motivate you more to like want to give that to your child? Like, is there something that you had?
Like childhood traumas, or
no, just like somebody that understood, like an adult or a parent that you were connected to, and you felt like you can go to, if you needed them or whatever. Like,
yeah, I think people just want to be heard and listened to.
That's what I'm saying. You had that?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I've always been a big person, like communicating and stuff like that. Like even now, like I do therapy. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah.
Which I have no shame in saying it.
That's
And I
good.
think
Me
everybody.
neither.
I think everybody should have
Hey
a
man,
therapist.
you're
'Cause,
speaking
like,
my language, brother.
it's because it's hard to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because then they kind of like in some way judge you, or they'll bash you, or whatever your circumstances or whatever you're going through. They
Right.
try to like. It's hard for them to understand, so I feel like it's sometimes good just have an outlet just to talk to somebody, get some clarity.
For sure.
You know, and I said I've been doing it for over 2 years, and it's helped me tremendously.
That's what's up, bro. I'm glad you said it. See,
Hey.
I told y'all I ain't crazy, man. This stuff works. For real, bro. I've been preaching that, man. Like 2020 was rough for me because I lost my son. I don't know if I told you that or not.
No.
I lost my 8-month-old son,
Sorry
and so
to hear
that's why I'm in this mode of like, hey, let's talk about what's happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like developing heart disease after losing my pops and then losing my son and having to, like, I'm managing it like now, but it's just like I know I need all these outlets.
Right.
Like I have to have ways I can still be creative. Like that's an outlet for me. I did counseling for like 6 weeks. That was super helpful. And then I got my music. Like all that stuff is necessary to make sure like you're not suppressing them emotions and holding stuff in. And I think may not be 100%, but I guess that's perspective. But I think people operate the best when they're their best version. Like, and I don't think that can't happen with a person that's filled with resentment and bitterness and like just don't know how to deal with trauma, because them triggers is real. Like that's some real stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. One thing I kind of see a lot is that a lot of people are going through childhood trauma bad.
Yeah. What made you do it? What made you go to therapy? Y'all listen. Please listen.
Oh man, I didn't want to talk about that,
But just as a black man, bro, I just feel like it's needed because, like I said, I've been preaching it.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand like the importance of it and how it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I went because I had to work on me. You know what I'm saying? And I had made a lot of reckless decisions.
Okay.
You know how things I said, whatever. You know, getting into arguments, whatever.
You been married before?
Yeah. So I went through a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like I had to really learn how to be a better human being.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what helped me go to it. You know, go through the whole outlet and stuff like that. So it was one of those things, man. I wish I would have done a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But you got that ego mentality, like, oh, I don't need therapy.
Yeah.
I'm too good, or whatever. So it's one of those things, man. I think it's really helped me get through some stuff.
Okay.
And it's not like saying everything's gonna be perfect, but you're gonna be at least 80% better than you was a couple of years ago.
You preaching, bro.
So
You preaching, bro.
I advise anybody to take it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Let your ego down. Just talk it out. Because sometimes you can't really talk to your family and your friends. Because sometimes they don't really understand.
That and I think most people are afraid they have an opinion about you.
Right.
Already. You know what I'm saying? So your guard gonna be up.
Yeah.
Like, or you might not share like everything.
Right.
But then the other side of it, I've heard people say, well, I don't know them, they're a stranger. Like, what can they do with anything that,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what can they do with the information you about to tell?
You tell your friends or sometimes even your family, they're not going to understand, or they might, judge.
Put you on blast.
Judge you in some sense of form, whatever. But I say everything I tend to go through, I do tend to write in my screenplays. So it does help me.
That's an outlet.
It's an outlet to write.
That's good, bro.
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
Really good, bro.
I mean, we could talk about Mr. Watson, but that's
No, don't spill. Don't. We ain't gotta spill the beans on Mr. Watson.
But yeah, that's very different. I like to say.
Yeah.
He's gonna go through a lot.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like I said, that trailer was epic, bro.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. That's my big movie I'm focusing on this year. Is we're gonna shoot that this fall because I want to be a fall movie.
Okay.
But that movie is very influenced from like, I had somebody in the industry read it, and when she read it or whatever, because she's done some stuff with Warner Brothers or whatever, writing, she was like, this script reminds me of Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay.
Batman Year One comics.
Okay.
So I was like, I didn't think about the whole Pursuit of Happiness vibe. But then when I thought about it, I was like, well, I guess you could look at it like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make all my characters very human as possible with many flaws. So, because I'm obviously trying to create my own DC Marvel universe. I'm not waiting on them. I'm trying to create my own thing. So
I love it, bro.
And we're starting off with Mr. Watson, and next year I got another character, a speedster character from Jamaica.
So oh wow,
it's gonna be cool. Well, that's why my dad's from Jamaica, so I had to make sure we keep it in the family.
So I was just gonna ask, when did you leave New York?
I left New York at a very young age.
You left it because I don't hear any of it.
Yeah, a lot of people, I hear that too. So but it's funny. Some people say, well, you don't sound like you're from here, but you don't sound like you have that. I've heard people say you don't have that New York accent either.
I don't hear it at all.
Yeah,
I don't hear it at all.
But so I was,
or Jamaican.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't really speak. My dad. I'll leave that to my dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to create this Jamaican character, so I'm still working on writing that and stuff like that. But Mr. Watson's kind of like the Iron Man of Marvel. He starts it and goes from there. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I got like 4 or 5 characters. It works.
So when you say, damn, we finna talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because you're talking about him feeling like a human, but I know some other heroes have like other stuff that they dealing with. I guess the first person I thought about was like Hancock. Like
I hear that a lot.
Drunk
with Hancock.
Yeah.
I mean, Hancock, he's.
Did they overdo?
I think his was just a little too. I don't know. Like, I wasn't really big on the storyline in ways, but I mean, I guess if you look at the human side and drinking and stuff, but it was very comedy-ish to me in the way so they kind of did it.
Yeah.
I think with my movie, this character it's more of a darker movie, kind of like the Batman that just came out. Yeah. So it's gonna be more on that mid-tone level. Okay. I'm trying to keep it. I mean, obviously
serious a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Flash character that I'm creating, he's still gonna be grounded, serious, but it's still gonna have more humor. I think out of all the characters.
Is there a villain?
Oh yeah, it's always gonna be a villain. I got
in human form, or in
the Mr. Watson.
Yeah. Or is it
they'll be human.
Okay.
But because I said I've had some, I've been working on it for a while, and I had some people read it, and it was just like, you have a villain, but you need a super villain. So I was like, damn. I said I wasn't trying to bring this character into this movie, but
you already had one though.
I've been planning Mr. Watson because that's gonna be like my first trilogy movie. Okay. So I already have characters in mind. It's just I'm shifting them now a little bit. So.
All right. So. Can I do something?
What's that?
Could I do a title track or a song or a theme song or something?
Man, I'm open to it.
Yeah, man, I want to do something.
I want to
be a part of it.
I had a guy. He wrote a track for Abiding. You'll probably hear it in the credits or whatever. I got the music video on YouTube too. Okay. So I want to shoot.
Oh, I did see that. I saw that.
You saw the music video?
I saw that the first time we connected.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been telling y'all another thing. You got to run your mouth. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. Whenever you out, run your mouth. You never know who you gonna meet or connect with, man. You gotta run your mouth, man. That's how this stuff happens. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You never know who knows who, or what you can learn, or what you can teach. Yeah, man. So I'm big on that. But yeah, I want to be a part, bro. Like.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, I've got a couple of actors already attached to it. Nakia Dillard, shout out to Nakia. He's in Philadelphia. Okay. But he's doing a lot of big stuff now. He's one of the actors on the new TV show Wonder Years.
Okay. So all your actors American?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part.
I mean,
everybody.
They coming over here stealing roles, so I was just wondering, bro.
Oh no, nobody's from like London or nothing like that. But
they are taking over.
They are taking over.
Like, and I had this conversation yesterday. I wish we would revamp our education system, like so that by the time they get to middle school, like they can go into the arts and technology or like whatever. Like it don't take 13 years to learn how to multiply, add, subtract, divide.
No, I think the whole school system is I mean, that could be a whole long conversation, but I think the whole school system is all whacked. It's like we're not teaching our kids about their dreams. We're self-programming them like, hey, this is what you need to do. You got to do this, do that. And half of that stuff, let's be honest, like nobody's not going to learn that when you get out of school. Let's teach them about how to save money. Let's teach them how the banking system works.
Bro.
Let's teach them about real estate, like how to sell houses and stuff like that. Like
that can build the economy.
Teach people how to talk to people.
Facts.
And how to respect them. You know what I'm saying? Like this system is, this generation, I think, is just kind of screwed up. But that could be a whole super long conversation. Yeah, the school system is kind of messed up. Even like you go to social studies, have this stuff in the books are lies. And history's been lied to us, and we've been brainwashed through hundreds of years.
Yep.
It's kind of messed up, you know.
Sounds like a movie, bro.
Oh, it definitely can be a movie. I've got stories.
What school should look like?
Yeah. I got a lot of stories, man. But
that might be a thing, bro.
It's crazy, man. Like, but I don't know if it will get better. Hopefully it does.
It won't.
But it's just when you got the power B of people who control all that stuff, man, they're not gonna allow that stuff. Unfortunately.
Nah, because that would give us too much power.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cultivate creativity in a generation. Yeah.
Nah, yeah. It's never gonna happen. That's trouble. Man. At all, but you know. I don't know. I said like I believe in just doing homeschool. Let's say if I have kids, I'm doing homeschool. Like I'm having to give them a whole different teaching level. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I refuse to want to see them being in school for that long.
So your ultimate desire is not to work the regular job and just direct,
produce. You know, so
you still want to be hands on.
Yeah, I think it's just part of my nature, and just because I've been in when I went to school, it's like they trained you to do multiple things. Yeah. Like now I have a production crew. AIU.
Okay. What's that?
Everybody always thinks it's Art Institute, but it's American Intercontinental University.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to one in Buckhead.
Art Institute is university attached to Art Institute?
Art Institute, they have that Art Institute, but
you know what I'm saying? Is it called university? I wouldn't have thought that.
Oh no. So you got Art Institute, and then you got American Intercontinental University. It's two separate.
But that's what I'm saying. Art Institute doesn't have university.
No.
You say so that's what I'm saying. I don't know why would people do that. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah,
Art Institute.
I used to say that all the time. I said, "Oh, Art Institute." I was like,
"Art Institute University." That don't even sound right.
Right.
Stupid people. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I mean, I said school had to teach me. They taught me everything to just kind of like multitask.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why like I'm still like now I can be very hands on. Like okay, move light here.
Jack of all trades.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it makes you better when you get to them bigger projects that are $20 million sets.
Right.
You kind of know how to manage and know how to run stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't know how. It's just not you just directing.
Right.
You know, okay, the light needs to be there.
You know, that's
shot this way.
And my brother's gonna watch this. My god brother, he directs films, and he knows very little about the technical side of things. I don't know what it takes to get it done. I just don't like that. And I was like, bro, you can't be like that. Like that's how he kind of thinks about it. Like that's what I'm paying you to do. I don't like that. Do something else. I'm like, hearing you say that, it's like, oh. Your people probably love you because you can, you know what I'm saying? You know how to communicate what you want. I ain't trying to downplay what Big Brother do, but like that'll definitely be helpful.
I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes people do have a hard time kind of seeing what I see. I try to be verbal as possible, but I guess
but you can go do it and recreate it though.
Right.
Like if it was a shot that you wanted, and you saying what it is and what it looks like, it's different when somebody tell me like, hey, can you zoom in a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Closer. And it's like, no, that ain't what I want. Well, what you want? I don't know, but I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty detailed.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think that's helpful in being able to communicate what you want because jack of all trades, you know what I'm saying? They kind of dabbled in everything. Like I think that makes for a more effective director, and you save a lot of time.
Yeah, I always have a formula when I shoot, even like because when people book me to shoot because content. I said we got a feature film coming out with Jamal Willer, James Ford from Chicago.
I need to learn these names, bro, because you name dropping. And I don't.
Now, Jamal Willer, he played Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
we shot a movie last summer with him. I was just talking to the director a couple days ago, so we're still in post production on that, trying to get that done.
Get it finished. Yeah.
I said, we gotta get this movie done, ready to see it. Cause we shot that, and we shot the whole feature film in 7 days last year, which was it was challenging.
That seemed taxing.
It was challenging, and it was rough because I had to work that week, and I couldn't get that week off out of all weeks. And my job's pretty flexible, give me days off.
Yeah.
And so I would have to wait. Call times were like 7 o'clock.
A.M.
Yeah. And I had to be up around like at least 5 because I had to make sure I get my crew breakfast and stuff like that. Because I'm big on. I used to do a lot of crafty on movie sets.
Okay.
Like I worked at Tyler Perry's.
Crafty?
Yeah.
What's that?
Just like making sure people got snacks.
Like the hospitality side of things.
Snacks, stuff like that. So I worked on I did Black Lightning and Tyler Perry sets, crafty. Because I'm in the union too. And I was doing that. So I always imply all that stuff into how I work, my workflow. So I always make sure my crew, I take care of them, make sure they got snacks, drinks.
How long you been in the union?
Since 2016.
Okay.
I mean, I don't do as much, you know what I'm saying? Because I work at the Weather Channel.
Right.
So
you got to pay dues? You got to pay a membership? Dues?
Yeah, you got to pay for that.
Is it expensive?
No, it's quarterly. I mean, but if you join now, yeah, they taxing now.
For real?
Like when I joined, I paid like $600 some dollars.
Yeah.
Now I think it might be like 3,000. And it's not like they get you a job either.
Right.
You gotta know people.
Right.
To get on that stuff. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it works for some people, whatever.
You think it's worth it at this point?
I mean,
man, I know Barrington, bro. I don't need no damn union.
I mean, for me, it's like I said, I don't want to be working for nobody, to be honest. I mean, it's cool doing that or whatever, but I'm trying to still have to stay focused on my goals, my dreams, man. And I believe if you stick to it, man, it's gonna happen, man. You can't spend too much time working for the other person.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna find yourself working there forever, and you're gonna find yourself like, damn, I was supposed to do
this.
I never did it.
Figuring out, probably regrets.
Yeah, I've never been a complacent person. I think people that know me, I always have to see how I can get better and better and better.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's lit, bro.
But yeah, man. So I got my production company, doing a whole bunch of stuff, man. So we're just trying to keep pushing and elevating.
Seems like you got so much going on. It don't seem like no regular person can just walk up to you and book you for something. Like you have that posted on your Instagram, like available for this, and this. But is that you sending people to go do the work, or is that still you?
No, I still film.
How? You ain't got no time for that.
I mean, I always make time, man. If I love what I do, man, I always make time. I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm doing now is a lot of pre-production stuff. Mm-hmm. So that takes time. But I'm just good at just doing multiple things.
That one.
And I said, a lot of people can't do it, man. I said, but it's something I just mastered over 10 years, man. Yeah. It's just, I can do be doing 10 things, and I'm just trying to map it out. Yeah. But I said, when I film, it's like I always know my bases. Film a wide, then my close-ups.
Okay.
I kind of know, hey, I need to get these shots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even when people book me, it's like, I know I need to get a wide shot. Because your wide shot is your master shot. You have to rely on that.
Facts.
If something go wrong,
you always got that. You always got that. Yeah.
And then I always make sure, because when I have my two cameras, I shoot my close-ups and my medium shots.
Okay.
Because you need to have those setups. So that's always my formula whenever I shoot all my movies. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, some shots are more creative than others, depending on the scene or whatever.
Facts.
But a lot of people who book me, sometimes they may not have the budget or whatever, or they try to do a lot of stuff in that day. It kind of leaves us, the production side, not enough room to get creative.
Right.
So that's why I had to kind of set this formula, hey, I need to get these shots.
Okay.
And it's worked for me.
Yeah.
So
I got a wedding coming up in March, and I got a second shooter I'm gonna make them do photography. So male and female, I'm making them do photography. But I'm thinking about now, like not being able to go to the venue until the day of, getting there early and having to kind of draw out some, because I think this is their first and second like wedding, so yeah, so like I'm gonna have to coach them through it.
Weddings are cool. I did a couple last year. I mean, I've done a couple weddings.
But if you go into it not having shot lists and knowing what you need and planning everything, it could be a beast. Like, and that's I want to make sure I explain that to them, like prior to us like getting there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, for me too. I mean, I think weddings. I have a formula for weddings too.
You have to.
I have to, at least try. I like to check out the venue beforehand or day before, and just to kind of see, okay, where they're gonna be going and stuff like that. But as I've done a few weddings, man, I kind of usually, know my setup,
right?
What position I need to get,
right?
To stay out of people's way.
Facts.
And it's really just about getting as much coverage as possible
for safety, like
dress, get a shot of the dress, put on makeup.
Cause we going beforehand to get makeup, them getting dressed and that whole thing. I love doing that though.
Yeah, I mean, it makes good. I mean, you can add a little storytelling to it, stuff like that. So
voiceover, like all that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the drone out there too. I haven't flown my drone in a minute.
It's funny. I just ordered my cord for my drone because I haven't flown my drone in a long time.
I finna say it's been out of commission.
Yes. Yeah.
Which cord? Power cord?
Yeah. My drone, man, I've had it for a couple years, man. It's been through hell. Like it's scratched me up.
The propellers?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Man, my drone was going through exorcism or something because it was crazy. Like when we shot the first trailer for Biting, man.
That's the one you used for that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw.
I got a couple of drone shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add like some production value and stuff like that. So yeah, my drone was acting crazy on that production when we shot that movie.
Do you ever take time to film like stock footage, like for like maybe establishing shots, like just in your free time, or you don't have?
Yeah, not too much in my free time, but I say like now, even though I still have a drone, I'll fly it, just depending on the gig or whatever. But
somebody told me I should do that. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people talk about getting some stock footage and stuff like that. So I try to do it here and now. I'm probably trying to play around with my drone today, honestly.
Yeah.
But but now I have drone operators most of the time.
License?
Yeah. Like one of my drone operators, he's worked on Walking Dead and stuff like that. So he's their drone operator.
It's really a career in that.
Yeah. Like he builds drones and everything, man. He's dope. He's got this little cart and everything. We had used it a little bit on the feature we did last year.
You heard of EDC?
EDC?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a ultra pop like festival. Like it's a music concert, like big music fest. If I had to describe it on the black side, like it's almost like a Caribbean festival, where like a bunch of music, bunch of stages and concerts in this field. Anyway, I was in Vegas. They have one in Vegas and they have one in Orlando, but bro, they did, and I think it might have been automated. They had, instead of fireworks, they had a drone show, and all the drones had colors. And bro, they were creating these designs in the sky, and it lasted for like 20 minutes. Like all the drones lining up to form something, and then stopping. I was like, yo, like the way they got that automated like that, like that's freaking cool. Cause I'm assuming nobody's, cause it was at least 30 of them there. I'm like, no, 30 people aren't flying these drones at the same time. But it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. I was just wondering, like, to get those to be in sync like that, like it was crazy. But yeah, it's a really big thing. I'm surprised you never heard of it, but yeah, it's a really big thing, and they have it in Vegas and they have it in Orlando. There's a bunch of DJs. Shaq was actually out there. A bunch of DJs spinning. It's like house music and ultra pop or something. But yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I got my drone, but I don't really use it as much. You know what I'm saying? Like Because now I'm trying to narrow down on me wearing so many hats now. Even like for like my next projects, Welcome to Uranus, Mr. Watson, stuff like that.
You gonna delegate?
I'm just trying to focus on probably more producing and obviously directing,
Right.
and then just making sure like I have like a full crew where I don't have to get behind the camera.
Right.
Because most times when clients do get with me, I still do get behind the camera just because I do like filming. But this thing going forward and stuff I've learned through abiding is what and what not to do and stuff like that. Just to kind of delegate, just hey, have shooters, have DPs. I can just sit back and direct and tell them, hey, tweak this, do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it just makes a better workflow. But you know, when you're independent, man, you're gonna have to.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
All those hats and do what you gotta do, man.
Yep.
So you know, I say I'm very fortunate. I can do all those things. You know, where other directors probably can't. You know.
And it sounds like you understand the importance of like building relationships to get people to buy into what you're doing, knowing you don't have this crazy budget. You know what I'm saying? And you're willing to take those risks with people that have little to no experience to accomplish and get done like that. Because that takes a lot of patience to ask somebody to jump behind the camera, knowing their level of knowledge about filming, let alone the camera, isn't where yours is. And it's like no, I need to get this done. And in the process, since you're willing to help, like you teaching them at the same time instead of being selfish, saying like, nah, man, I'm not showing you none of my tricks or none of, you know. So that's good, bro. And I could tell you're big on relationships.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, relationships are big, man. Just because that's something they don't really teach you in school.
They don't.
It's about building relationships and networking. You know, that's a big key in getting where you need to be. I mean,
you saying in the school you went to?
Yeah.
Full Sail drilled that in us.
Yeah, I mean, because when I went to school, man, especially like in Georgia wasn't there yet how it is now in the film mecca. Because like we're number one in the country.
Right now.
Is the number one filming state.
Right.
I mean, LA's still number one in like TV shows, of course. But I mean, when it comes to like film movies, we're number one. So it's like when I got out of school in 2009, you know, I didn't have no equipment no more, no filming. So I had to just write. And then the following year, I had saved up enough money to get a camera.
Right.
And my dad was fortunate to find a MacBook Pro at his job. So I ended up keeping that and got, you know, Final Cut on there and just started, you know, still shooting some short films and stuff like that. So so school at that time, man, it's like I didn't really get a full lesson of lighting. I had like maybe one course.
Oh, wow.
And then my teacher said, hey, when you leave here, learn at least know the 3-point light setup. That's about it. You know, but I mean, I excelled in like directing, producing class, whatever. And just to kind of, I mean, school is good to kind of like you to find your niche. What do you want to do?
Figure out what you want to do while you're in there.
Yeah, and just trying to figure out your style, directing, and stuff like that.
And I think a lot of those schools got it right by at least introducing you to everything within that world. So then it kind of lets you decide which pathway you want to take once you graduate. It's like they expose us to everything. Because I thought in the audio world, I wasn't thinking about live sound at all. Like I want to be in the studio when T.I. and Ludacris ready to come record. Like I don't care about microphone placement for an instrument. Like these jokers recording to a 2-track vocals. Let's run it. Like, but you get exposed to ADR, like even like sound design. Like that was a whole new world for me. I was like, yo, this kind of fun. Like taking this shotgun mic outside and recording it and building my own sound library. Like
sound design is more important to me now. Just with, I said, everything I've learned through just doing my movie Biden, the headaches I went through in post-production.
I can see it.
Man, sound design, I tell people now, I'm more important focusing on sound more than visuals these days.
I think the videos are a little easier.
Videos are easier, and they're punching, especially these cameras, these mirrorless cameras now are punching so much quality. Man, take that time, focus on sound. Like sound design, man. That's why I tell people that's where it's at. And that's what's going to get you a distribution deal. Half the time, people don't even care about the image. They care about the lighting. I think that's probably second I've noticed in the industry, what they look for.
I can see that.
But it's your sound, your lighting, and the production value. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like a cheap movie.
And then the actors.
Actors, you know what I'm saying? Like, That's why I had took my time casting for that role, the Arthur Fisher role, you know, because
You know what you needed.
and
He
I
had
had
to be
one,
on point. Yeah.
and he's a theater actor, and you know he had such a presence when he speaks.
Yeah.
I really liked his voice. I was like, he has that.
Did he come from the stage or he was doing films too?
He was doing both.
Okay.
So you know, I talked to him a couple weeks ago. So you know, we're in the works, working again soon. So you know, he's looking forward to it and stuff like that. But
When my brother did his film 2 years ago, this was already important to me, but the file management, like the guys that recorded it did not organize any of the takes, and label, like they didn't label any file. I had to go fishing for like 8 days, bro. Like organizing like the different scenes and the dialogue and who's talking, and separated by like the different locations and stuff, right?
yeah, my sound design, bro. I stretched him out, but I paid him a lot because he had to clean up a whole lot of mess because we just went through so many issues with sound, and I didn't really have the budget, so it was like I have a guy, I would pay him, but then he wouldn't be able to make it that weekend, so I had to find somebody. So I had maybe like 3 different sound people on set. And
are you hoping to use the in-camera? That might be everybody's hope, be able to use the audio from. It's not.
I had to kind of explain that to a client about that because they were like looking at the audio and they want the raw files or whatever, and they were saying like, hey, well, you know, the audio doesn't sound good. I was like, well, what are you listening to? Are you listening to the sound person that we had on set film, boom, or are you listening?
Well, that's what I'm talking
camera
about.
audio.
No, that's what I'm talking about. To avoid having to do ADR. I'm
Yeah,
saying you're hoping
you
what you
want to get the best while you're on set. That's what
right. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
not directly from the camera. I mean like from the field recorder.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Some people think that's usable audio, but anyway.
No.
But no. So we try to capture the best audio we could.
So you gotta do less in post. Yeah.
But again, some locations we had
because you couldn't
control it, and then it's independent. So I knew going to ADR we had to go. I said I maybe ADR maybe 60-80%.
Was it? Wait. Was there any actors who couldn't get back in the studio that had to have a different voice? There's a lot of.
Luckily,
like
I didn't have to run into that.
Okay.
Cause I said I had tried to bootleg an ADR at this guy's office one time, and we was doing ADR in this little area, and I had my little mic or whatever, and they would just watch the video. It was very bootleg how we did it, and then when my
was the people head turned at least?
Yeah, they were kind of, you know, it was bootleg, man. That's all I can say. So, luckily, around 2020, I would say, around the time, I had talked to the actress, man, we got this ADR. She said, well, I can get you in the recording studio.
Yeah.
And she just hooked me up with a great deal, price-wise. So, for like 3 hours, I had scheduled for like 2 days. I had got all my actors coming in. Let's knock these scenes out. And stuff like that. And then, you know, when I got my sound design guy, you know, he's amazing. Like, he's the MVP for about.
That's what I'm saying. But he had already done like a lot of work
previously.
Yeah.
Like he's won awards.
No. I'm saying he had already done a lot of the editing, like for the audio that you already had. And they had to double back. But he hadn't started yet.
No, he hadn't started.
Okay.
So I said, and then we had issues. I mean, as I said, I didn't have somebody doing dailies, you know, saying labeling scenes like that. So it was a headache. I'm sure very similar to probably what you had went through. So
what y'all do is like this.
Man, hey.
Oh my God.
It was a learning experience. Bro, so it took him a while just to find.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta go fish, bro.
And I try to organize best I could, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm doing multiple things, of course. But it's like, so he ends up finding it. We had to do piece by piece or whatever. I had to send him the files, and he cleaned it up and stuff like that. And you know, that was actually like at least 3 months, 4 months process. and just doing each scene by scene, and then I went through issues with my music composer and him sending the files, and
Man, shout out to that sound design guy.
man,
Hey, bro,
shout outs to him, man.
I feel your pain, brother. I
dude.
feel your pain, bro.
He was the MVP. I tell him all the time, like, dude, man, you a blessing, bro. I said, without you, this movie would have never came out. Cause,
brother, the management alone is probably a couple $1,000. Like, that's a job, bro. To do file management, like,
yeah,
to sit there and play
I got him
through.
for really. I'm not gonna say it was cheap, but I mean, it was definitely over a stack, but
Yeah,
it was hella worth it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
sure.
Because, again, he saved that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everything else looked good,
Yeah.
whatever, but it's like my colors, color of the movie, but that sound design was like the last cake. And then when he added the music, my music composer ended up deleting all the files, and I told him don't delete that. So he had to recreate, and it wasn't exactly how it was the first time.
Yeah.
So luckily I had a subscription through some website, and I would just plug in those musics, and I would just look for like that like crime mystery music type of vibe, and I would tell him like, hey, place it at this, place it at that.
I've been using Artlist.
I've heard about Artlist, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the other website.
Soundstage? Not Soundstage. Yeah, it is. I think I had Sound Exchange. Nope, not Soundstage.
I forgot the website, but I should have went to Artlist. But yeah, man. So I mean, it was a process, man. Like I've learned a lot, what and what not to do, man. So I'm not even gonna really run to none of these issues. Like I have a dedicated editor who just edits movies now. I said I've got cinematographers, gaffers, people in the industry. So it's like it's a better situation now where I know a lot of my movies will be way more smoother. It's just, of course, it's always about getting that budget, and figuring that out. But yeah, it's a challenge, man. I think again, you just gotta really love what you're doing, man.
Right.
In this field.
I'm here for it, bro. And I'm looking forward to what's next for you. You know, black man in film is needed. More so because we don't really get to tell our story, and some people aren't really interested in telling their story. So the way you kind of infusing that in what you're doing is great. Right now, music ain't telling our story. Like it's telling one side of it, and if drugs and gang violence ain't your story, I'm not finna fabricate.
That's programmed though. I mean, I think if people know how the music industry works, it's like they promote drugs, sex, and that's all they can promote.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand who's pulling those strings and why they're doing that.
Facts.
They're not gonna. All your great other rappers are underground that are talking about what's going on in the world and stuff like that. They're never gonna give them no radio time.
Nah.
So it's a a crooked system.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on, man. Man, tell the people how they can find you, all that good stuff, right there in that camera.
You can follow me on Instagram, Barrington Marson. That's BARRINGTON, Marson, MARSON. And also have my other business account, Barrington Marson Productions. I'm on Facebook, Barrington Marson, and got a YouTube channel, Barrington Marson Productions. You can check out all my work, website, www.barringtonmarsonproductions.com. And still growing, man, at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, as a black filmmaker, man, I'm just trying to really inspire other black filmmakers for sure, just to kind of like, you don't have to go a certain route in genre of movies. Like to say, I'm not trying to speak on other directors, of course, but just to kind of like, hey, I want to inspire them to kind of like do those movies that they grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? Like we can show the drama, the gritty real life movies or whatever, but don't be afraid of like, hey, I want to make a Lord of the Rings movie, fantasy. Don't be, just like, oh, because I'm black, I can't make those.
Right.
So, I just tell people like, don't put yourself in a box.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Just because of society and what culture don't accept.
Yeah, right.
I get it.
I'm just trying to inspire people.
That's good. So our imagination, like, can often be suppressed because of the pressures we might feel from.
Right.
So that's good, bro. He telling us.
I think Michael Jackson, man, like I said, when I was a kid, man, he was a good example of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do what you love. Be you.
Be you and have fun with it, man.
Facts.
That's what it's about.
Hey, man, your boy Philo checking out. My boy Barrington came through, stopped by, dropped some gems, and I'm excited about what's happening. You guys make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. The Outlet 0721 on all social medias. The livest pre-recorded show on earth, man. We out.